Welcome back. Let's go back to one of our top stories for today. The Minister of Electricity, Kgosientsho Ramokogopa, says the cost of electricity is an economic problem that needs to be solved. This as Eskom has applied for a massive electricity tariff increase of 57.06% for the financial years 2025 to 2027. And for some analysis now on this, we are joined by Mthunzi, energy expert. He joins us now via our video link. Mthunzi, thank you so much for your time once again this evening here on SABC News. Now, just looking at that statement and looking at the application of a 57.06% tariff increase, that's a major increase application.
Good evening and Merry Christmas to you, Mbali, and to the viewers. Yes, it's a very, very big increase. And what makes it worse is that it comes on top of many previous increases in the last few years. And so this is definitely unaffordable. And it certainly also it's not in line with many of the country's objectives. For instance, we say that we need to industrialize or reindustrialize our economy. Now, if you're going to reindustrialize, you need affordable electricity. Otherwise, you won't attract investments, people to build factories and things like that. And so this will have another negative impact when it comes to industrialization, which means that our economy won't grow, which means we won't solve the unemployment problem. So it's got all of these ripple effects in business and in society in general.
I mean, Mthunzi, South Africans are already complaining about the cost of electricity and keeping the lights on in your household. How you speak about affordability, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. How will South Africans afford this major electricity tariff increase, should it even be approved?
Very few South Africans will be able to afford this. My view is that the minister has to intervene. Eskom is being, in my view, just ridiculous. Since since about 2008 or so, electricity prices have gone up by 800%. 800%. If you look at other international prices in other countries, within BRICS, for instance, we already have the most expensive electricity prices. Okay, most expensive electricity. If you look at other countries in the world, our electricity costs are higher, or prices are higher than Norway, and they are equal to the United States. And yet we are a third world country. The United States is a first world country. And yet the prices are equal. It's a crazy situation. We simply cannot, South Africans simply cannot afford this increase. And so I think that the minister or the president will have to intervene in this situation.
Yeah. And Mthunzi, how did we even get to a proposal of 57.06% for an electricity tariff? Maybe just give us a bit of background there, when it comes to the amount of monies being owed to Eskom and, for South Africans to have the lights on for even most of the year.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, let's just deal with the issue of, monies that are being owed, especially by the municipalities, right? Now, I think that this problem shouldn't really be a problem. Firstly, we've got an ANC-run government, which means that Eskom is controlled by an ANC government. The municipalities, most of those municipalities that do not pay are ANC-run municipalities, right? So what should have happened a long time ago is that all of these government institutions should have sat down and found a way to solve this problem. And the ANC could also have done it from, a party political perspective to initiate such discussions so that a pragmatic solution is found. This is this is a result of poor governance, basically. That's the problem. And you find it in other areas where national government departments don't pay municipalities where they have offices and things like that. So it's a crisis of governance, poor governance. So we should not expect the electricity user to pay for government's poor governance.
What are then the solutions to the problems being faced by Eskom, which are largely due to, money issues?
Look, Mbali, I think that there needs to be a proper investigation, okay, into Eskom's problems, financial problems. I honestly don't understand. I don't think there's a justification for Eskom requiring 500 billion rand to run its business. 500 billion to run its business. It's crazy. And if you look at the financial statements, for instance, that they have just released, they've made a huge loss. And this is on top of all of the increases that they've been getting over the years. There is a serious problem related to Eskom's costs. Eskom management is definitely not controlling the cost of running the business. And my view is that Eskom is being milked. There are people, suppliers to Eskom, who are making a lot of money, unjustifiably so, and the electricity user is expected to fund those huge profits. That is really the problem at Eskom, and I think that an investigation needs to be done, and these runaway costs need to be stopped. And I think ordinary people really need to start taking to the streets to fight this, because it's really crazy what's going on.
Let's come back to this now. I mean, some publications, when it comes to, the Minister of Electricity, Kgosientsho Ramokogopa, some publications have named him the Person of the Year, of course, for, a number of days in the year without load shedding. But there are also, at the same time, some communities like Dobsonville who are still saying, well, they've not had electricity for a couple of months now. How do we then begin to, rate the performance of, the electricity minister this year, where some are saying that, well, he is the Person of the Year, he was able to keep the lights on?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Look, I think the people who kept the lights on are the current Eskom management, to be honest. Okay? The minister only talks and he informs the public about what's happening. But I think that the plan that brought us to this point where we don't have load shedding is a plan that was crafted long before the minister came into the picture. And so I think credit should actually go to Eskom management and other people who actually contributed to that solution, and people who made noise about the fact that we're having so much load shedding. So that's the first point. The second point about some communities who are still not having electricity is a valid one. And it happens to be poor communities. And I'm sure those communities will not rate the minister or even Eskom highly when it comes to, Persons of the Year or any such ratings.
All right, Mthunzi, thank you so much for your time and some of your analysis in that regard. That is Mthunzi Luthuli, energy expert, talking to us there about that proposal of a 57.06% electricity tariff increase. Of course, also bemoaning there the issues around affordability for many South Africans.